Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into our first home EKU Game Day Show. Michael Watkins along with Howard Miller once again with me. And it's a big day today. Colonels at home for the first time this season. We were just talking about it before we came on the air. It is football weather out here today, 59 degrees right now.
Yes, sir. Compared to one of the situations that these guys has had to deal with up until the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The heat wave that they had to deal with. Don't take it lightly. These guys are happier right now than you can imagine.
Well, even last week, you were down there on the field during the Louisville game. I was there in the stands, and just, the sun just beating down on you. It wasn't as hot as it was while they were practicing this summer, but it was still a lot warm. And today, it is a complete flip-flop of what they've been kind of gearing up for during the offseason. But a big day today. The Colonels welcoming in Houston Christian. And it's an interesting scenario, a team we haven't really heard a lot about. You don't really hear Houston Christian when you think of, the Texas teams. You think of maybe the Texas Longhorns, Texas A&M, SMU. You've got even Charleston and the teams that are in our conference. Houston Christian, obviously not one of those, but they did put up over 400 rushing yards last week in a blowout victory. They're coming in riding high with a 1-0 record. We're coming in a little bit disappointed in how we played in that first half versus Louisville, 0-1, but knowing that it's Louisville, a really good football team, and the Colonel is ready to get back on track today.
Yeah, well, and as we was talking about before we went on the air, you're talking about the state of Texas.
Yeah.
You're talking about a state that is known for its football. And the thing that I'm saying is that when you're looking at Texas, SMU, and some of the Division I schools.
Yeah.
When you get down to the second and even third tier teams in that state, you're looking at some tremendous athletes. You take Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania. You can never take none of those teams lightly just because we might not have heard so much about them.
Well, and the thing about those states and the schools that go with them, even if they're not really football players, they're athletes.
Yes,
they've got speed and athleticism, and you can teach them to just grab the football and run with it. That's part of the coaching job, but there are just so many players to choose from. You sprinkle those three states in, and that's one thing Coach Wells has done good over the last few years is recruiting in areas like that to get guys to come to our school here at EKU. And today, a big day, as the Colonels are home for the first time in 2025, and they'll be back on the road next week. We travel to Marshall, and then we go to Nichols before coming home for West Georgia, our first conference game. So a lot, riding on this game today because you want to get back on track. You don't want to go to 0-2 before a tough matchup again next week on the road at Marshall, a school that, is known for football. You think about the movie, We Are Marshall, the story behind that and everything. So that's a big deal. Next week will be another big game for EKU, but you want to kind of get right and get things moving in the right direction. I've always been told as a football program, and it may not necessarily be at the college level, but more at the high school level, you see your biggest improvements between week 1 and week 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I think today for the Colonels, we'll see a more confident group come out because last week Louisville kind of came out and hit us in the mouth, and it's hard to recover from that. So I think today EKU has got to be the one hitting first.
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of times when these opening games occur and you have your Division I schools playing schools on our level, every now and then one of us might knock one of those guys off.
An FCS and FBS program, think about Appalachian State many years ago going into Michigan and winning that game. You see it every now and then.
That's a rarity.
Yeah,
it's a rarity. And when it does happen, obviously it gains everybody's attention. But for the most part, those types of games are a gauging manner of looking at where we are and what we need to do to get to what's necessary to get us on track.
And back at home today for the first time this season. The weather, I think it will affect the crowd a bit, especially considering, the Cats are playing up the road.
Yeah.
Their game started, but they'll be not even at halftime by the time we kick off. Maybe it'll be close, but I think that'll affect the crowd some.
Yes.
The weather, the rain, the cold temperatures, and it's Richmond. There's a lot to do around here. But I think the folks that do come into Roy Kidd Stadium will be in for a treat today because we get Miles Burkett, the quarterback, who looked good at times last week. And how about that defense? They were making some plays, too. Vito Tisdale had a couple of interceptions, had another interception late in the game as well. So I think the defense kind of showing you that they can make plays and kind of get the crowd excited for what could come here today at Roy Kidd Stadium.
You know, one of the things about playing a school like Louisville is that often we get hyped about playing a Division I school, and then when we come down to our level, we have a tendency of letting up.
Yeah.
If we play on that same level with that same enthusiasm, that same intensity, we control our own destiny.
Yeah.
Because we had some wonderful moments of seeing exactly where we are, but we have to maintain that. It doesn't make no difference who your opponent is. You always play to the best of your ability.
Yeah. You know, and you think about where we're at right now. You got the cabin on the hill real close to here, Coach Kidd's statue right around the corner. Inside here, the Erdman Center with the volleyball team now plays their games. And then, you know, C.G. Banks Field at Roy Kidd Stadium right here behind us. And it's you know, being here, it feels like fall. I know right now we're still waiting for the temperature to officially drop and be consistent. We'll probably be back in the 80s or something here next week. But right now, when you come out here today, you're going to feel football weather. It is in the air. If you're out and about today and you're looking for something to do, why not come out here and cheer on the Colonels and get ready for their first home game?
Colonels. You know, this is almost, Mike, like a early October day.
Yeah, it is.
I remember my freshman year. I will always remember September the 11th. That was the first day we played. That was our first home game.
Okay.
And that date, hey, Coach, that date has always and will always be a part of who I am. And I remember how warm, how beautiful it was, sunny day. And usually this time of September, opening day is just that. You usually can count on great weather.
Yeah.
But this, again, is almost like an early October day.
It really is.
It's offsetting everything.
Yeah, it's just, you know, when I woke up this morning and I looked out, I mean, obviously the rain that came in last night, you know, a lot of the high school games around the area had to be moved around or moved up or called early because of lightning and storms that were in the area. So I think that kind of helped push the temperature down some too. Yeah. But, you know, again, when you look at tomorrow, it's supposed to be a lot warmer than it is today. Today's just kind of not really a phenomenon, but just a one-off, if you will, and more of what to expect later on in the season when you come to Roy Kidd Stadium. Yeah. And that's one thing that I have learned in covering this team over the years is Roy Kidd Stadium is not friendly when it talk about the wind and the cold. It just kind of sits in here, this little valley, and in between the two bleachers areas. It gets very, very cold on that field.
Quick.
And the wind, it just kind of swirls around and it never leaves.
I tell you what, sometimes if you pay attention to the flagpole and the flag, it 1 minute can be going in one direction, and you look at it a second or two later, and it's in a completely different direction. Yeah. And I think it's just the way the stadium and the bleachers on the opposite side somehow another funnels the breeze that's coming through. It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
It's very unpredictable.
Well, we'll step aside for our first commercial break here on the EKU Game Day Show. It is game day for the Colonels live here just outside of the Erdman Center with an outlook over to Roy Kidd Stadium, C.G. Bank Field. Glad to have you along with us. Howard Miller, Michael Watkins, our producer, Gage Hill. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back as we bring you more coverage for the EKU Colonels opening day game versus Houston Christian at home on WBON-TV.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Co-Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now still in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Whitaker Bank in Madison County is your local bank for convenience. With more branches than literally any other bank in Madison County, why go anywhere else? Whitaker Bank is known for their friendly customer service and easy access drive-throughs. Whitaker Bank, your home for local, friendly, family banking. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Cars of Kentucky is a proud sponsor of Eastern Kentucky University Athletics. In Richmond, we bleed maroon. Go Colonels. And when you're ready for your next pre-owned automobile, swing on over to Cars of Kentucky. Cars of Kentucky has vehicles starting at $3,000 and up, so we literally have something for every budget. 356 Big Hill Avenue in Richmond, or check them out, carsofkentucky.com. Let's go Colonels!
When it comes to auto service, two things are important: experience and hometown service. Hall & Sons Auto Care is starting their 20th year in business in Richmond. That's 20 years locally owned and operated. Hall & Sons Auto Care can take care of you from preventative maintenance to major engine repair. Hall & Sons Auto Care is also carrying BW towing products as well as rough country suspension and lift kits. Give us a chance to be your auto repair shop. Visit us at 209 North Keeneland Drive in Richmond.
Welcome back into the EKU Game Day Show. Michael Watkins, Howard Miller with you right outside of the EKU Erdman Center, and getting you set for Eastern versus Houston Christian. Colonels a 18.5 point favorite today, and over under of 53 points. So expecting a lot of points today for two teams that really like to run the football, but there are some explosive backs in this game. You look at what Eastern's got in Braden Latham, Brady Hensley. They did lose one last week late in that game. Telly McAllister getting hurt late in that game. But you look at the explosiveness that Eastern has on both sides of the football. And Burkett, I think last week, he was more of just going through the motions, never really had a chance to make a big play.
Yes.
But when you look at what he can do and his arm and the guys he can throw to, Cal Wise, Jaden West, the guys that he can throw the ball to out on the perimeter, they can make plays for him as well. So I think the offense will look much better today in this one.
There's something that I have this feeling that we're going to have a breakout game today. I think with just watching the guys in practice over the last few weeks, I think this is going to be a day that they're really going to put all of the pieces together, being at home, the point spread and all of that. Now, sometimes a point spread can be something that can play against you as far as confidence or overconfidence is concerned. But I do believe that we're going to have a breakout day today. I think in looking at the guys when they did the Colonel walk earlier, they seem like they're locked in.
When you look at the guys Eastern has out there, Jaheim Ward defensively, preseason All-American, this time earning third-team honors from Phil Steele back before the season started up. He also earned first-team preseason All-UAC honors from the publication, and it was his selection comes after 10. He started 10 times last year in the 13 games. He recorded the third most tackles on the team with 66, including 5 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, and 9 pass breakups. Eastern had 13 players that earned All-UAC recognition, including a conference-leading 8 first-team selections going into the season. And the honorees from the team and follow, Braden Latham was the first-team running back. Marcus Cowwise, the wide receiver, was the first team. Jeremiah Bailey, first-team defensive line. Braden Sullivan, first-team linebacker. Gabe Stevens is the first-team linebacker. Jaheim Ward, again, first-team defensive back. Jacob Baker was the first-team punter. Jalen Montgomery was the first-team kick returner and all-purpose player, and he was second-team punt returner. Liam Coppinger, second-team offensive line. Cam Jr., second-team linebacker. Isaiah Bunn was third-team offensive line. Gabe Fletcher, third-team defensive line. And Vito Tisdale, who had that breakout game last week, 2 interceptions. He was third-team defensive back, had that touchdown. He had a good return on the second pick as well. So there are guys out there that is expected to do a lot, and I think Burkett has just got to find a way to not lose the game.
Yes,
you
yes.
know, Morrissey at times last year, there were games where he had really good numbers, and there were some games where he didn't really throw the ball quite well.
Mm-hmm.
We know how good Parker McKinney was before him, where Parker could go out there and just sling the rock around, and he could be a guy that could go out there maybe throw for 300-plus yards.
Yes.
I don't know if Burkett has got that in him. We may find that out tonight, but I think it'll be good for him to come out here in the weather and being like it is. This is going to be a run atmosphere for both these two teams, with the field going to be not in the best shape because of the rain that's took place the last 12 to 15 hours. So I think this will be the kind of game where both teams who already like to run the football rely on it even more this afternoon.
I think that when your peers and the people that make those choices and decisions, when we're loaded like we are, potentially, and I'm saying potentially, because we've got to go out here and show it, that lets us know that the pieces are in place. Yeah. It just has to come together. And once they start hitting on all cylinders, again, I think that our potential is going to be out of the roof.
Well, you think about how last year, kind of turned out. Slow start. We started off 0-2, lost some games early on in conference play, but turned it around and made the postseason. And more importantly, went undefeated on this field. So today, you've got to win the first one before you can win them all. That's going to be an important piece. And the fact that you look at what Coach Wells has done here. He's really tried to bring the old school vibe with the new school way of doing things. I think that's very important for not only this program because of the tradition that it has, but also for the fans who understand what the program once was and what kind of is going on today. So you've got to kind of find a way to mesh those two things together, and I think Coach Wells is the perfect guy for that.
Well, college sports period is still in a transitional period. When you start paying athletes to play, it takes on a whole different atmosphere. And some of the foundational approaches that coaches have used for years and years, see, all of that is out the window now. And it takes a special person to be able to have been here during the years of how it was and suffer through or experience that transition and do so to where things are right now. There's a lot of coaches, and you'll be surprised at the number of coaches that have gotten out of the business because of all of this new approach. And that guy like Coach Wells, he has enough Roy Kidd in him that he's able to blend the old with the new, and he's doing a great job of it.
Well, you look at, Nick Saban, a guy that was a legend and still has some coach in him, stepped down because, again, it's different. Coach K, that was at Duke for so long. Obviously, age was kind of a factor for him, too, but I think it's just the way that sports and in college basketball, college football, the way it was moving, he didn't like the way it was going or where it was going.
No.
And, I do think it does kind of level the playing field that everybody can get paid. But a school like EKU can't match what Kentucky or Duke or Alabama. Like, we can't match what they can pay their players. It's so interesting to see because it's kind of like in baseball. There's no cap. Anybody can pay whatever they want to pay.
Whatever they have the money to do with.
A team like the Reds can't compete with the Yankees. So that's kind of what we're at right now with Eastern, trying to compete with some of the bigger schools and pay somebody. That's why we lose some guys. You got to bring players in on one point that want to play for your program.
And the thing about it, we don't want to turn into a feeder system
exactly
for the larger schools, because that is a great potential when they can watch, see, and look at us and say, well, I want that one, I want him, I want these two, or whatever. And it's, in a sense, it's almost not fair, but that's the landscape that we're dealing with.
And it's not going to change anytime soon. It's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah, it's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse.
And I think for EKU, I do credit, the powers that be, because they do understand where they're at. And they're trying to find a way to, A, compete, but B, also do it in a way that they can afford, if you will, or they can
yeah.
make it make sense to them. You know, you talk about, because here's the thing too about, you know, Eastern and other programs. Not only do you have to have money for your NIL fund, but you also have to have money for uniforms and all that stuff
that goes
too.
Along with
so
it,
now you're
know.
Raising almost twice the amount of money you used to raise.
Yes, you know, one of the things that impacts me so much about this new system that they have, it's like if a coach coaches hard, he has the likelihood he's going to lose a player.
Yeah, yep.
In other words, those days when a coach could get up in your grill, he's doing it for your betterment.
Yeah.
He's trying to improve you as a player, as a human being, whatever. But those days of a coach being able to come at you and tell you in your face what you're doing wrong, you might decide, well, I don't have to put up with this. Boom, you're gone.
Yeah.
I remember, and I won't say on air what I used to think my middle name was. The way Coach Kidd sometimes would be on me like a cheap suit. And it was a part of the game.
Yeah.
It was a part of the game.
You know, I played sports all my life growing up, and I had coaches that would coddle you, and I had coaches that were just like that. Listen, I had coaches grab my shirt before, and you know, when they give you a pat on the back, it might be a little more umph to it.
And Mike, not to cut you off, but there are some talents, there's some individuals that a coach can approach you from here and get the best out of you. Yeah. And then sometimes he's got to get a little closer to get through to you as an individual. But then sometimes he's got to let you know where he's coming from, and everybody's degree of understanding where the coach is coming from is different.
Well, and I responded better. Listen, the more you yelled at me, the more you said, you know, cussed at me or whatever, I responded more to that than the coddling thing. And, you know, when I was never the best player on the team, but I had a role. Yeah. And a lot of times my role was the defensive guy or whatever the case might be. And those coaches, a lot of times, even if I wasn't the one that messed up, if the star player was the one that messed up, they would still yell at me to get the point across to that guy that he was the one that messed up. But that was that was just kind of my role on the team.
And you accepted it.
Yeah.
You had no idea of, why is he on me? What did I do? I wasn't even in the game, but it was a part of his approach, and it never crossed your mind to walk away from the game. Never did.
Yeah, it's just a lot different now, you know. But and the thing that I think is even crazier to me is I see kids playing nowadays that grew up in that atmosphere.
Yes.
And they were the ones that were getting yelled at, but now they want their kids to be coached softer.
No.
And that's the thing that I don't understand. Listen, we were you talked about how Coach Kidd was with you. I know how, and I think a lot of it is too, it's just the day and age that we're in. You got to be careful with what you say and how you say it. Everything's changed. Everybody's got a Facebook page they want to post stuff on, or a video they want to make, and there's always a camera right there in your face. So you got to be real careful now. But in saying that, we were the generation, we grew up with those coaches yelling at us and getting in your face. So I think we would be used to it, for one, and expect our kids to be okay with it as well. Again, and there's a line you don't want to cross, but I think coaches understand that now more than ever.
Well, I think in some ways we were the last class from the old school. We saw that old school manner of coaching, we saw it come to an end, and a ushering in of this new manner of doing things. And when I look myself at some of the sideline antics, some of the things that I see on the sideline, I think back to the day. That's different. That in some situations, you can look at games on television and a kid will do this or do that, and the sideline antics are just so out of proportion with what an older guy like myself that came through when I did. It was almost like, man, if Coach Kidd had saw us do that, he'd have, oh my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to just make reference to Coach Kidd, but I'm talking about across the board.
Yeah.
There were certain do's and certain don'ts.
Yep.
And you didn't cross that line.
Well, and you've seen a lot of coaches come through here as well. And, I think you touched on it, as did I, that Coach Wells has got enough old school in him and enough new school that he understands both sides and how to kind of bring that into EKU. But when you come here today, and I think fans that haven't maybe been here in 2 or 3 years, you're going to notice something very different than what we used to see. I mean, they've got the things with the air guitar camera and the sideline things they do, the on-the-field games they play with students. It's a different atmosphere, and it's really all about having fun. It's an experience. It's not just coming to watch a good football game. That's right. Nowadays, they got the blow-up the things for the kids over here, the inflatables. You've got the tailgate lot. I mean, there's so much more that goes on at football now than just football. And I think Eastern's done a good job of kind of themselves stepping into that new era with doing things. We'll talk more about that when we come back. Another commercial break we need to hit, too, on the EKU Game Day Show. Thanks for hanging out with us here, Howard Miller, former EKU legend. He is a legend, folks. Don't let him fool you. This guy was a legend, and every time somebody walks by, everybody knows Cuz. So that's Howard Miller over here. So we appreciate him joining us once again. I'm Michael Watkins. If you're out and about, if you're here, you're watching the show, or you're on your way to the game, we've got about 30 more minutes left in our broadcast. Come on over and talk to us. Let's talk some EKU football. Let's look ahead to the game today. The game next week at Marshall. We'll talk with you. We'll bring you on with. We've got a couple of extra headsets over here to talk to you. So if you're watching, you're nearby, come over and chat with us. Let's talk some EKU football and maybe some other EKU sports.
We're on the steps of the cabin on the hill.
There you go. Yeah, come on out and talk to us. We got to love to have you come on and talk EKU football. But don't go anywhere. Game Day will come right back on WBON-TV.
Granite, marble, and quartz for any surface. Make a lifetime commitment you won't regret.
In the event of an accident, please contact Shane Blankenship and Brandon Witt at Berea Collision, where you will receive exceptional quality and competitive pricing. Located behind Near New Auto at 110 Fairground Road in Berea, they are dedicated to serving their local community with top-notch repairs and unparalleled customer service. Berea Collision also services RVs, buses, and campers. Call them today at 859-985-2583 to experience the Berea Collision difference. Berea Collision Center, where precision meets perfection.
At the Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, we have activities galore, including video games, bowling, pool, delicious food at Champions, plus karaoke and live entertainment 7 days a week. Enjoy the climate-controlled patio, watch NFL football, and your Kentucky Wildcats all season long. The Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, just off exit 87 at 1025 Amberley Way in Richmond.
When life throws you a curveball, Richmond City Taxi is just a call away. Fast, friendly, and always dependable. Just had an eye appointment? Don't risk driving home. Let Richmond City Taxi get you there safely. We're your neighbor on the go. Wherever you are, we'll be there. Richmond City Taxi. Local, reliable, trusted. Call Richmond City Taxi at 859-779-4461. Have you heard about JB's Grow Shop? They are one of the most unique businesses in Richmond. If you're a farmer or a gardener, then you and JB's Grow Shop will make a great team. They provide the highest quality organic soils, nutrients, castings, and much more to meet your indoor and outdoor growing needs. Their experts will meet with you and make sure that you are getting the most out of your homegrown plants. JB's Grow Shop is located in the Southern Hills Plaza Shopping Center at 956 Commercial Drive in Richmond.
Welcome back into the EKU Game Day Show, live here on WBON-TV. Howard Miller, Michael Watkins, and Cuz. Before we took the commercial break, we were talking about all the things that take place now here at an EKU football game that maybe didn't take place when you came here 5 years ago. Obviously, COVID kind of changed things, and the fact that you're competing with so much now in the area. But it's not just the football game now. There's a lot that goes on both pre and during and even the post game that fans can sit around and enjoy.
Well, one of the things, and don't take it lightly, COVID changed the world.
It did.
COVID changed everything. But one of the things that I think is a great positive for EKU is that our people have recognized that it's not just a ball game.
Yeah.
It's a production.
Yeah.
If you can't do what's necessary to get, as they say, butts in the seats,
Yep.
students now have so much more to choose from than they did.
Yeah.
They've got enough electronics in their rooms that they can stay there, travel the world,
Yeah.
do whatever they want to do. And if you're not putting something on the field that warrants their attention, they might be right next door to the stadium and
Yeah.
choose not to come to the ball game. So it's about understanding that it's broader than it once was. When I was growing up in Richmond, my buddies and I, Charles Hawkins, Jola, some of us, we would come up to the ball games and go up in Todd Hall and hang in the stairwells and watch the Eastern Kentucky State College Maroons.
Okay.
Now, I'm aging myself because
Telling on yourself.
then EKU, Eastern Kentucky State College Maroon football game was the happening. It was the happening of the day.
Yeah.
Even when the Eastern-Western rivalry was at its peak, before Louisville and UK played each other, Eastern-Western was the in-state rivalry. So games were different than they are now.
Yeah.
And the students didn't have nearly as much other stuff to distract them from coming to the game. So it makes a difference that you recognize that and provide things of interest to them.
Well, and I think, I've been doing this show for 10 or 11 years now, and I've been a part of seeing the tailgate lot for the students before.
Yes.
And not even half of them come over to the game. Now, I understand you want to do the beer pong, and you want to drink and have, and I understand that. That's part of being a college student. That's part of the atmosphere. But coming over here, now they sell beer. And they used to not sell beer about 4 or 5 years ago. They didn't sell alcohol inside the stadium. And now that's part of it, too. But again, it's all about bringing them into the games.
It's a part of the change.
And I credit Eastern for making those changes because a lot of times alumni, tradition, things like that can get in the way of changes. But they've still been able to, even with the sponsorship of CG Bank, on the field, they still keep the tradition alive because it's CG Bank Field at Roy Kidd Stadium. So they still bring the old with the new and put them together. And that's very important, I think, for Colonel fans who, listen, this program has got a lot of support from alumni and even people like you, and I've seen it. Look here, this guy coming out here. So, Coach, hey, good luck tonight.
Hey, come here, Coach. Come here, Coach, just for a second. Hey, this is the guy we've been talking about, Coach Wells. We've been talking about
I've been saying all good. He's been saying all bad.
Now see you throwing me under the bus. Good luck, buddy.
Appreciate
good luck,
you, sir.
Man.
Yeah, listen, again, and that's just the guy, Coach right there. He didn't have to stop by.
No,
but,
he didn't have to.
And he's got a lot going on right now.
Yeah,
But the team getting everybody ready and stuff, over at the Colonel Wild. One thing I love about Coach Wells is that he is coach. Like, he doesn't hide anything.
No,
he is who he is.
Yeah.
He'll have the sports coat on with the cowboy boots, and then he comes out here for the game. He's got his, maroon on. He's maroon out today. But I think
he's the one that put it up on me to go buy a set of cowboy boots. I got
you
3
some
pair.
He done decked you out then.
Oh, man, I've got 3 pair, man.
So the ladies like that? Oh, you got
no, let's don't go there.
We won't get you in trouble. We don't want to get you in trouble, right?
Okay.
Gage, we might need to get us some of those, man. That might be what we're missing out on. But listen, today, though, a great day for EKU football. First home game of the season. An 18.5-point favorite versus Houston Christian. And over-under of 53. So there is, in the Vegas expert, there's a reason they are, and they do what they do. They're expecting some points today, so we'll see what happens as they go throughout the evening. But a lot to get into, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll take one more commercial break. It's EKU Game Day. When we come back, we'll look ahead to the matchup between Houston Christian and EKU on the other side, live on WBON-TV.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Co-Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now still in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Whitaker Bank in Madison County is your local bank for convenience. With more branches than literally any other bank in Madison County, why go anywhere else? Whitaker Bank is known for their friendly customer service and easy access drive-thrus. Whitaker Bank, your home for local, friendly, family banking. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Cars of Kentucky is a proud sponsor of Eastern Kentucky University Athletics. In Richmond, we bleed maroon. Go Colonels. And when you're ready for your next pre-owned automobile, swing on over to Cars of Kentucky. Cars of Kentucky has vehicles starting at $3,000 and up, so we literally have something for every budget. 356 Big Hill Avenue in Richmond, or check them out, carsofkentucky.com. Let's go Colonels!
When it comes to auto service, two things are important: experience and hometown service. Hall & Sons Auto Care is starting their 20th year in business in Richmond. That's 20 years locally owned and operated. Hall & Sons Auto Care can take care of you from preventative maintenance to major engine repair. Hall & Sons Auto Care is also carrying BW towing products as well as rough country suspension and lift kits. Give us a chance to be your auto repair shop. Visit us at 209 North Keeneland Drive in Richmond.
Welcome back into the EKU Game Day Show. Michael Watkins, Howard Miller, along with Stephen McKenzie, longtime Colonel fan. And listen, we talked to you coming on the air how exciting it is to have this game here. But you were talking about the home schedule. This is a really good home schedule this year.
This is a great home schedule. You look down at the teams on it and what they've done so far.
Yeah.
Nicholls State, pulled a big upset on the Incarnate Word, and then you got Austin Peay coming here. They just beat Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
And you got Tarleton State, of course, beat Army. I mean, this is a tough home schedule, but that's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You got to prove it on the field.
And you want those teams here. You want your toughest competition on your home field.
I mean,
it makes a difference.
This summer, every time I'd look at that schedule, I was like, man, I mean, this is all we've got them all here. It's just going to be a great ticket this year. I just hope that hope we can shore up some of the areas we need to shore up to compete.
When you watched the Louisville game last week, what do you think was maybe the biggest disappointment as a fan? Because there was obviously, listen, the game, and we knew Louisville was good. Their first home game.
Listen,
they are a competitive team.
They are. They're going to be really good in the ACC
and we've got
this
to
year.
play those games. We've got to play those games to fund our program. And the last few years, we've gotten we got beat pretty bad by those. And all during that game, I was like, don't worry. We're going to get our check. The rest of the season's in front of us.
Don't get nobody hurt.
That's
Unfortunately.
right. That's right. We did do some things. We missed some tackles, but the speed.
Yeah,
oh, man.
it's different. It
was most noticeably on the defensive line.
Yeah.
They just ran right around our tackles, and that's – they're in the ACC. They're a good team. They're a top 20 team.
Well, during the press conference this week, in talking to, there was one of the offensive linemen on the press conference, and I asked him that. He said, we just weren't prepared. You can't really simulate that speed.
Right.
Even in practice, you're going against each other. There's no way to, to simulate that much speed coming at you to go around you.
There's nothing you can do.
Right. It wasn't Burkett's fault. He just didn't have any time to throw.
Yeah.
You saw in the second half, though, we got some nice plays and moved the ball. I think our defense is much improved. And, of course, you know this. You've talked to Coach Wells and many times. We've got a great defensive backfield this year, and that's the first time in a long time you can say that.
Yeah.
It really hurt us in the last few years. We stayed healthy at linebacker, too.
Yeah.
I mean, last year we were just handcuffed early in the season, and a good thing for Sullivan. I mean, he had a heck of a year.
He did.
So he's back. We've got a good group of defensive linemen again, so I think we're going to be able to stop some people.
Yeah, and I think there'll be a lot of low-scoring games this year. I don't think we'll light up the scoreboard like we did, last season.
I don't
and
either.
I think we've got enough good depth in that running back room with with Lathan Latham, Hensley. Of course, we did lose one last week, but even with Montgomery back there and kind of being a speedster guy, there's enough because Latham is a little bit of speed with some power. Hensley's more of power with some speed, and Montgomery is just fast. You can't catch him.
And I think in the middle of the season, we're going to see an increase in our scoring.
Yes.
As they start to gel, as that chemistry starts
like we did last
to work.
year.
Howard,
I
last
believe we're
year,
going to see it.
I was after the third or fourth game, I was like, what are we going to do this
ready to
year?
throw
I
in the
didn't know
towel,
if we were going
right?
And then it just turned on, and our defense started playing better, and, quarterback Morrissey, he did just enough.
Yep.
I think we've improved that position this
I think
year.
so. And that's one of the things that we were talking about. I don't think Burkett needs to be Parker McKinney, but he needs to be somewhere between Morrissey and McKinney, somewhere enough to where if we need him to throw it 30 times, he can. But if we can find that sweet spot of 22 to 26 times per game and have him be, 16, 18 of those numbers completion, I think that's really the sweet spot for what we need from
Michael,
him.
Howard, and I both agree. It's all on the offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
We have to find 5 people that can gel and that can protect our quarterback and that can open holes. Carter was a tough runner. I don't think we've got that this year.
No.
So we are going to have, and that's what it all boils down to. And how many years can you say that? But especially this year because we lost some really good offensive linemen the last couple of years.
Yeah. And I think that's true on every level, middle school, high school, junior, whatever, professionals. When you have that foundation of a good, sound offensive line, you can go in all sorts of directions.
Well, you look at what we've had the last few years. There's been, Ezra Azirum got drafted by the Saints. The guys that are playing in the CFL right now. There's been some really good, talented offensive linemen come through.
Right?
Yes, exactly. So there's a lot of good talent come through here the last 4 or 5 years, and it's hard to consistently get those guys back.
I was listening to Howard and you speak a little while ago, and we were talking about picking players. And it's almost like if you've got an excellent player, look out. They're going to be gone.
The defensive guy, Marcellus, he was so much fun. And he was a personality, too. And those are the kind of guys that fans like. That they can really root on.
And they're important in your locker room
that's
as well.
true, too.
Right.
Big part.
Right. And that's one thing. Telly McAllister seems like a great kid. I met him at Madison Garden one time. Seemed like a fantastic kid. And I know the team was disappointed that he went out, and he's going to hurt our running back depth, but he's also going to maybe hurt our sideline depth. Maybe we can win for Telly. I don't know.
There you go.
Use this as a rallying point. But listen, I'm just really excited. We got a great home schedule. UAC's a tough conference. It's a 3-bid league now.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a 3-bid league.
Yeah.
And not only that, but, we've got Nicholls State and Austin Peay and some other teams coming in here that's going to really challenge us.
I tell you something else that I think is going to have an impact. Like you're saying, we've got a wonderful home schedule. Last year, I told somebody, I believe last year we traveled more miles last year than we did when I played my whole 4 years.
Yeah, I can see it.
We flew to Texas. We was in Texas a couple of times. We was out in Utah. We was down in Mississippi.
Yeah.
We was up in Pennsylvania. And just the flights alone, man, travel plays an impact on the performance of the guys.
It does.
Even when you're preparing. When you're preparing for a game on the road, it's different than having the beauty of a great home stand. It makes a big difference.
You talked about the first 4 or 5 games last season and how we were able to turn it around. I think this year it's going to be much more important to get off to a good start because, you don't want to go 1-3 in your first 4 games. You got to stack some wins early on. Credit Coach Wells and the staff for pulling the right strings and pushing the right buttons last year, but you don't want to put yourself in that spot again this season.
I remember we were speaking before the West Georgia game last year, and we're like, we've just got to win this game. That's important, super important game early on. This is an important game today. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring. As long as we win by 1 point, I'll be happy.
That's all.
We're 18.5-point favorites, which I was a little surprised by. The over-under is 53, so they expect some points, but I think the weather will play into effect.
I don't care. As long as we win today, that's all that matters.
There you go.
We got to get a good showing. Listen, I'm like you. I don't like Marshall. I don't like Marshall. People don't remember. We had a big rivalry with Marshall one time.
Lord have mercy.
And I remember those days, and I want to go down there and show well. So if we can play well against Marshall, we don't have to win that game. We can play well against Marshall, and then it's on. Then it's on. We got Nicholls State, which is a great Southland team.
They are really good.
And then we go into our conference schedule, And I just hope we're in good standing then.
Yeah.
You was talking about that rivalry we used to have. Local businessman, God rest his soul, Mr. Bob Hager. He's from Huntington. And I remember one of the last times we went up there to play Marshall, I remember after the game, we were sitting underneath the bus, under where the luggage and everything goes, and he was just talking about, being from Huntington and over the years and everything. And in some ways, I miss those types of rivalries.
Yes.
Marshall and
Western. Western was
Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Even more here.
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
here. It was a special time when we had those types of games.
I wish we could get back in a conference situation like that. There was some talk about the Southern Conference, possibly joining the Southern Conference. That would be a little more regional. Both Utah's teams are going to be leaving after this year.
That's a big deal, too.
I'm sure they didn't like playing us either, as I say. So, maybe we can get into a more regional situation. I've seen on some message boards there may be a couple of regional teams that may be joining the UAC next year closer.
Yeah.
So we all want to do that, what Howard said, get back into some of those regional.
Well, you said you just wanted to win today. Have you got a prediction? What do you think happens?
Yeah, I've been going over that. I think it's going to be like 26-20, to be honest with you. And I'd be happy with, like I said, if we win 26-20, go on to Marshall game. Let's just do that.
Get out of here with a win. Get out of here healthy and get back to next week on the road. Right?
Exactly.
We appreciate you coming on with us, Steve. Listen, a lot more to get into, folks. Kickoff is about 43 minutes away. You still got time to get here and cheer on the Colonels. We got one more commercial break we need to get to. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. And we'll cheer on EKU as they take on Houston Christian. Be right back. It's EKU Game Day on WBON-TV.
Granite, marble, and quartz for any surface. Make a lifetime commitment you won't regret.
In the event of an accident, please contact Shane Blankenship and Brandon Witt at Berea Collision, where you will receive exceptional quality and competitive pricing. Located behind Near New Auto at 110 Fairground Road in Berea, they are dedicated to serving their local community with top-notch repairs and unparalleled customer service. Berea Collision also services RVs, buses, and campers. Call them today at 859-985-2583 to experience the Berea Collision difference. Berea Collision Center, where precision meets perfection.
At the Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, we have activities galore, including video games, bowling, pool, delicious food at Champions, plus karaoke and live entertainment 7 days a week. Enjoy the climate-controlled patio, watch NFL football, and your Kentucky Wildcats all season long. The Galaxy Bowling Center and Champions Bar and Grill, just off exit 87 at 1025 Amberley Way in Richmond.
When life throws you a curveball, Richmond City Taxi is just a call away. Fast, friendly, and always dependable. Just had an eye appointment? Don't risk driving home. Let Richmond City Taxi get you there safely. We're your neighbor, on the go. Wherever you are, we'll be there. Richmond City Taxi. Local, reliable, trusted. Call Richmond City Taxi at 859-779-4461. Have you heard about JB's Grow Shop? They're one of the most unique businesses in Richmond. If you're a farmer or a gardener, then you and JB's Grow Shop will make a great team. They provide the highest quality organic soils, nutrients, castings, and much more to meet your indoor and outdoor growing needs. Their experts will meet with you and make sure that you are getting the most out of your homegrown plants. JB's Grow Shop is located in the Southern Hills Plaza Shopping Center at 956 Commercial Drive in Richmond.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Co-Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, EKU, Shindawa, and now still in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Whitaker Bank in Madison County is your local bank for convenience. With more branches than literally any other bank in Madison County, why go anywhere else? Whitaker Bank is known for their friendly customer service and easy access drive-thrus. Whitaker Bank, your home for local, friendly, family banking. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Back here on EKU Game Day Show, Michael Watkins, Howard Miller. We got Coach Barton with us here, Howard. And you've been grabbing people, getting them on the show. We really appreciate you doing the hard work. But this is somebody that you said has got another legend here at EKU, right?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Well, Howard is too. In case
there you go.
In case he hadn't told you, Howard,
I know,
Howard is a legend too, before and after.
Coach,
I don't know if there's anybody walked by that didn't know him.
He ought to work for Walt Disney. He has such an imagination. Yeah. But this guy here, he is one of those guys that, it's the old saying, behind every great man, there's a great lady.
Yeah.
His son and his wife.
Oh,
is standing
yeah.
here. But my point is, behind every great coach, there's a supporting staff that keeps players not just in line, not just fulfilling the coach's philosophy as far as coaching is concerned, but there's somebody that's got to keep the guys healthy.
Yeah.
And this was Coach Kidd's guy right here.
Well, thank you, Howard.
That was his guy.
It's no secret that I was at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, listen, somebody's got to do that, right?
In fact, I just left the Warren Cleat Club. Someone said, "How was it working for Roy Kidd when you were losing?"
Yeah.
I said, "Well, I worked for him for 35 years, but I don't know. We never had a losing season.
Well,
we kept on winning."
You got your son here. He's got the Houston Christian shirt on. So tell us the story about that.
Well, to make a long story short, he is an administrator at Houston Christian University.
Come here. No.
Believe it or not, he took the job without me knowing it.
Okay.
And then the game was scheduled. Without us knowing. But anyway, it's a long story that you've already heard it tonight. It was Houston Baptist University, which I had heard of, and they changed the name to get some more people like you and I that didn't want to follow all the Baptist rules.
I was going to say, you have to do a lot of stuff to go from Baptist to Christian, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff involved there. So.
They admit, I have to admit, they admit that it helped. It was somewhat of a recruiting thing. And I don't need to tell you two. This guy's I've been listening to his prayers. He has put me to sleep with his prayers more than anybody on earth, with the possible exception
Coach, give me your headset.
With the possible exception of Gene Stain.
Okay, all right.
Go back that long? But I must say, when I came to Eastern, and one of the reasons Roy Kidd invited me, Ken Murray was a very close friend of mine and still is. He's at Texas Tech, and he was his trainer. So he told me when I came, he said, "Watch out for a guy. Howard Miller's not a player anymore, but I guarantee you'll meet him pretty early." Sure enough, picture day, my first year here, Howard was out on the field, and Jeff Daniel was on that staff too. So I was very lucky to be with Roy Kidd all those winning years, and proud to say we never had a losing season.
Yeah, there's been some good teams come through here, obviously, and we're hoping to get off to a good start today, right?
Oh, boy,
and like I said,
I walked through that parking lot with the Warren Cleat guys. We really had some players. I hate to even think of it, but if this AIL and all this had been in effect when these guys were here, we'd have had them 1 year. Tim Lester, Elroy Harris, those guys would have been going to UK, U of L, or someone bigger. It was just a different atmosphere. But
my freshman year, go ahead.
You go ahead.
My freshman year, when I came here, Wally Chambers, Mike Nicholson, James Crudup, we had some guys that were just maybe a percentage point this reason or that reason that were not, and that was when the Florida connection was at its strongest. We had some guys. We had some guys, man, that could have played for any Division I school in the country.
Oh, amen.
And
amen.
I was a sophomore, junior, and senior, watching those guys play, and then when I came here as a freshman, they were all seniors. I was able to play with those guys that I had watched for so many years. But the talent level, Jackie Miller and all of those guys, man, they were excellent college football players.
Larry Marmee, who was one of his coaches, was back for the Hall of Fame banquet last year, and he went through the players that he had, and he left here and went to Ohio State, Arizona State,
Tennessee.
And he listed about 10 guys. He said they were better than any player I had in the Big Ten or at the SEC, and it was just a perfect timing. But I was very lucky. I'll tell anyone this. I entered Roy Kidd's life at the perfect time.
Well,
he was at the height of his
you was great at what you did, Coach. Now,
well, I appreciate you saying that, Howard.
You were.
Yeah.
You were.
Now, listen, I won't let, if he talks bad about you when you walk away, I'll let you know.
I'll guarantee you. I guarantee you.
Mike, I'm not going to wait till he walks away. Because he's already threw a dagger at me.
He did. He swung first, right? He swung first.
We've had many wonderful times together. Football and basketball. He was a basketball fan too.
Sir.
And
volleyball games, softball.
But what's really interesting is to talk to his teammates that I didn't know until my later years. That to get about 5 of his teammates together. Well, by any chance, do you all know the Reverend Hiram? I said, no. There's no way. There's no way Hiram was a Reverend. I said, yeah.
Coach, I think your son is calling you.
But we don't want him to get in trouble, right? Well, it's good to see you, sir. Thank you for coming over and talking to us. We'll get your headset.
We'll see you at practice here before long.
Here, we'll take your headset off. You got him, Howard?
Oh,
there
yeah,
you go. You
can't keep my headset on.
All right, man.
Well, listen, we're about to wrap things up. Hey, listen, Gage. We've had so much fun today. I know we've had a ton of guests on, but just getting things ready for this first football game, Houston Christian, an 18.5-point underdog here on the road at EKU. Important to get off to a good start. Got a couple of minutes left, and just talk about, the importance of getting a win here today and kind of getting back on track.
It's the way to start.
Yeah.
It's the way to begin this thing and getting it to the point where we're on track. We know what we can do, and a matter of doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that the mindset, if we go into a situation like this where we have that much of a predicted advantage or lopsided, point spread, it's one thing to say it, but you got to go out and do it.
Yeah,
you got to go out
on
and do
paper, anything can happen.
Anything.
You got to go out there and do it and prove it right. And I think Coach Wells, I'm sure the players don't really pay a ton of attention to the numbers like that, but I think Coach Wells, his team, they understand they are the favorite in this game.
Yeah.
You got to go out there and showcase why you are the favorite and get back in the win column for the first time this season. So much thankful for Stephen McKenzie coming over, Coach right there coming over with us too, and just a lot of fun with you, sir. Listen, we'll be back doing this thing every home game, folks. So if you are going to be coming to a game, be sure you find Howard and I, because I'll be honest with you, I have no idea where we are going to be set up each and every single week. But we'll try to let you know you can come find us, and we would love to talk EKU football with you.
Before you close out, I just want to say to you and to the whole production staff, the radio station, how happy I am for second year of being invited to do this.
I've had really more fun today.
I appreciate
it. Last year you and I think kind of just took off with it, and I had someone tell me, like, how long you guys been doing the show together? I said, well, it was probably our second or third show. They said, well, your all's chemistry is great.
Wonderful. So that makes it work.
It does. It does. Yeah, we got to have some fun, talk some football, and get ready for a big Colonels victory today, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to Gage Hill, our producer. Folks, thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. It's EKU Game Day on WBON-TV.
Go.